Good morning. Happy Thursday. Almost through another week. What a week it's been. Oh my gosh. I found out yesterday another gentleman that I knew passed away recently. And some of you who might have been involved in Women's Council of Realtors back in the day may have known him because he used to come to our January meeting and speak every month. His name was Wayne Stutzer. And my friend Nancy just let me know yesterday that she heard he had died. And I did Google it, and he did indeed pass away on I think the 19th of this month. He was only 68 years old. So sad. He was a good guy. He was very interesting. He was a financial guru. And he had a show on KTAR, and he used to also do a thing on the local, I think it was Fox station. He used to do a thing on there too. Super nice guy. So I was sad to hear that. But, you know, I have this magazine. I love to pick up these little mindfulness magazines. Mindfulness and all kinds of different ones that you see at the grocery store now and then. They come out periodically. This was an interesting little article in here. You know, this is our typical eye chart, right? And they're saying this is what the eye chart should be, from small to big instead of the big to small. I know it's backwards for y'all. This is really interesting. It says Harvard social psychologist and mindfulness author Ellen Langer says the eye chart we all grew up with isn't just a diagnostic tool, it's part of the problem. A standard eye chart moving from large to small letters creates the expectation that at some point you will be unable to read a line, says Langer on her blog, ellenlanger.com. When we turned the chart upside down, we reversed that expectation, and people were able to read smaller letters than they could with standard charts. Their expectation, their mindset, improved their actual vision. Isn't that crazy? That's so true though. Instead of going from this, we do it this way. It tells you how powerful our mind is. Good morning, Shelley. And you know, part of that energy transfer reset is the age regression. And this is exactly why that works. Because our expectations are that we fall apart as we get old. And we don't have to have those expectations, because those expectations are creating that for us. So, interesting little thing. Let's learn about another angel today, shall we? This is the Encyclopedia of Angels. How about, let's see, Saint. Okay. How about Gazadiel? Gazadiel. G-A-Z-A-R-D-I-E-L. Gazardiel. Have you heard of him before? I'm going to guess it's a him, right? So, this is also associated with Judaism. Gazardiel will help you find new beginnings, deepen your understanding of an issue, release an addiction, find a new love, create the perfect home, get that well-deserved pay raise, and launch a new career. Wow, this is a pretty awesome angel, I would say. We all need a little bit of each of these, right? Invocation. The ideal place to invoke Gazardiel is where you can clearly see the sunrise. Face the sun, and as the first rays of light strike your face, ask for his assistance. If you can't see the sun, then just face towards the east. Then clearly state your problem and ask for Gazardiel to illuminate your way. His support is always gentle and loving, yet very powerful. The clarity he imparts is amazing. Gazardiel is the angel of the east and is often called the illuminated one. In some Jewish legends, he is responsible for the rising and setting of the sun. He embodies innocence, renewal, and enlightenment. Gazardiel brings illumination and new beginnings to anyone who asks. He often announces his presence with a shaft of beautiful light. The colors most often associated with Gazardiel are those of a fabulous sunrise: buttery yellow, orange, various hues of pink, and purple. When you call upon Gazardiel, your prayers will be carried directly to God. I am sure you don't doubt that the sun will rise tomorrow. You can be equally sure of Gazardiel's help. So there you go, a new angel for us, Gazardiel. Love that. Boy, Gazardiel's a busy dude. Right? Hi, Victoria. How are you? So today's chapter from the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo is called To the Core. No one lands where they aim, not even God. We are so quick to condemn this or exile that, to ostracize the breaker of promises, when the truth is that nothing in nature arrives as imagined. In fact, because the space between what we intend and what we do is often great, we keep beginning. Because the gap between what we feel and what we say is often surprising, we keep trying. Because the field between what we experience and what we understand is so vast, we keep growing. This is pointedly different from deliberately living contrary to what we believe and say. This is deceit and hypocrisy. But most of the time, we humble creatures simply miss the mark. We aim, mean well, and fall short, or wide, or overreach what we set out to do. I've come to believe that this is all part of the friction of the inner life of things becoming outer. Just as we learn in grade school about refraction, about how a stick placed in water will not stay where we put it, what we feel and think and aim for shifts once entering the world, never quite where we imagine it. It is, despite our frustration, what makes life interesting and love hard. Each of us gets the chance repeatedly to announce with all the certainty we can muster our own version of the world is flat, only to live into the humility of what has always been true. When I think of the beliefs I have declared over my lifetime and how they were broken like trees in a storm, or the vows I swore to keep at all cost, only to deny knowing God, like Peter, or the pride with which I would never kneel only to be brought to my knees by pain. When I accept the fragile way that the human journey unfolds, these become less mistakes and more the way that nature works. We grow into truth, one self at a time, questioning, declaring, aiming, missing, questioning again. As fruits are all encased until ripe, light comes full term in the dark, and truth ripens in the heart. The only way to know the truth is to live through its many casings. Yeah, how often have you missed the mark, right? Yeah, interesting. You know, we all make vows through our lives. Excuse me. And, you know, one easy one off the top of my head is how many of you who are parents ever said, I would never make my kid do that. I would never say that to my kid, right? And then what comes out of your mouth as soon as you have kids? Exactly what you weren't going to do. So although we may have good intentions, when we set those little expectations for ourselves or we aim for something, it doesn't always happen. And it doesn't mean that we lied or we weren't truthful. We just missed the mark, and it's a natural thing. It's how we learn and how we grow. That's awesome. So here's our exercise. Center yourself and meditate on the spirit within you that has survived all the different selves that you've been. Breathe deeply and focus on one truth you swore by that you now know is no longer true. Breathe slowly, taking the time to shed with each breath any embarrassment, shame, or sense of failure that might arise from seeing this. With humility, love the fruit that is you, that has ripened within these different casings. Ooh, that's awesome. Sorry. Kind of congested this morning. It's been like that the last week or so. Changing stuff in the air, I'm sure. I haven't been having like the allergies that I sometimes have, but I have been kind of froggy in the throat for some reason. I love this little thing right here. What the hell? I have the weirdest hair, you guys. The weirdest hair. I never know what it's going to do. So, that's awesome. I like that. Be kind. What other stories did you tell yourself? What other vows did you make? Maybe once upon a time. Maybe it's a past life thing, right? That things you vowed maybe you would never do. And maybe you did stick with it. And maybe now you realize that wasn't the smartest thing to do. That would apply, right? I know I have one. When I was probably around 10 or 11, about the time my parents got a divorce, I was so heartbroken. I didn't see it coming, and I was so heartbroken. And I swore in my own child mind, with my understanding at that point in my life, that I would never do this to a kid. I would never do this. If I couldn't marry somebody that I thought I could be married to my whole life, I would never get married. Well, I've never gotten married. I've never had children. Was that the smartest thing? Probably not. It wasn't a very good vow. But it's where I was at that time. And, I set those expectations for myself. And in my own bullheadedness, I kept that. Not on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level. And, it's only in some of the work that I've done with hypnotherapy and the BQH, the quantum healing stuff, that I realized what I had done, what I had set in motion at that point. And, those things can change our lives. And again, it's not something that we do maliciously. It wasn't really vindictive. That was how I dealt with my pain at that point. And how I chose to set the future course so that I'd never have to do that to a child. Well, we all know lots of kids live through divorce of their parents. Lots of parents live through divorce. Families continue on. People are still happy. It was a childish thought, but I stuck with it, If I could go back and do it differently now, would I? Probably. I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't, but I probably would, knowing then what I know now. I probably would have. But, it's all good. It's all divine. And I think everything happens exactly as it should. But it's interesting to notice those little things like that. And, this is stuff we do all day, every day, right? We do these things. We always have an expectation of an outcome. And, sometimes it's our biggest downfall because we need to let go of some of those expectations. If we don't cling to them, we allow life to unfold the way it's supposed to. And, yeah. And that's all I got to say about that. I love that line, by the way. You've probably noticed that. Forrest Gump is like one of my most favorite movies ever. I love, love, love that movie. It's so great. I can watch it over and over. So anyway, have a great day today. Have a happy Thursday. And, just put out some more information about that, the 4-in-4 Reiki package. It's 4 sessions in 4 days for deeper healing. So if you've got something that you are really, really working on and want to supercharge it, or if you just want to keep yourself well, you know, it's that time of year that people get sick and, you know, colds and blah, 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 and everybody gets really stressed out as we head into the holidays. You know, this is kind of like a really, in my opinion, kind of like a heavy-duty vitamin shot to help you get through that. 4 sessions, 4 one-hour sessions in 4 consecutive days. So I have it priced so that your 4th session is free, which is not a bad deal, right? So it's on my website, carrieway.com. Also still doing the energy transfer resets, resetting your energy back to your pure state and getting rid of all the BS that you thought you were going to do in this lifetime because it would be good for you. And, you know, you get here and you're like, what'd I say that for? This isn't serving me. So, anyway, you can check those out, read more about those on my site. And I will see you tomorrow morning. It'll be Friday. Have a great day. I love you guys. And thank you for being here. Bye.